This is our first in-person event back in Fort Lauderdale, so thank you guys again for being here. Yes. So as you'll notice, we do have a few more folks that are with us on Zoom. Well, now they went away, but they're still there. So we just want to make sure, because we're trying to do our best, still being hopefully towards the end of the pandemic, but still being able to do it hybrid, so we can still have some people that are ready to be here. So my name is Nikki. I'm the interim CEO of Tech Hub, and I wanted to give a shout out. We've got Monica here from our team and Ronnie as well. Ronnie's our digital lead. Monica, your title is Community and Startups Manager. So we just changed your title. So I have to get used to that.
What was that again?
Community and Startups Manager.
Wow.
So
Community
fancy.
startups, that's what you do.
I know, yes. Well, if anybody does have a startup company or would like to talk to somebody from Tech Hub about that, that's her. So again, thank you tonight. I'm going to go through a really brief, a very quick presentation about our organization. So if anybody's not familiar with us, you guys will know a little bit about what we do. And then, of course, I'm going to introduce, of course, Lily, who's really our star of tonight. And you're going to do the slides for me?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Tech Hub South Florida. So this evening, we have Kimberly here from South Florida Business and Wealth, and the topic is thousands moving to South Florida. What's next? I'm sure that probably a lot of people had wondered that, because we're seeing a bunch of people come to South Florida. And our sponsor is Carrie Stamp and Company, which we do have Josh from Carrie Stamp and Company that's going to say a few words right when I'm done here. And of course, location, general provision. They do have 2 locations. This happens to be obviously the downtown location. Are a co-working space for innovators, creators, and makers. I know that got Maris. Maris just started, so if you guys want to welcome her here, she's got some cards if anybody's interested to get a free pass, so you guys can try it out in this awesome space. So yes, find Maris afterwards if you guys are interested. And just wanted to say thank you again to the general provision space for hosting us tonight. Next slide here. So building South Florida's Tech Hub. This is our new and improved mission statement. We actually, it used to be building South Florida into a tech hub, but we already are a tech hub. So now we are just building and supporting it. Next screen. Our community creed. So Tech Hub South Florida is wholeheartedly committed to building a welcoming, collaborative, and inclusive community for all. We put inclusivity first, engage with others, are considerate to all, and don't sell to people. So in short, we want to make sure that everybody is welcome to the table. And one of the things, just as an example, that we are trying to do to be more inclusive is we've recently started this year adding ASL interpretation to all of our community coffee panel discussions. Currently, there are virtual. As you can tell, we don't have somebody here doing that this evening. So we are looking for additional sponsors, because obviously there is a cost there. So if anybody knows anybody interested in being a sponsor, you could definitely use that, because we'd love to have ASL interpretation at all of our events. And so Tech Hub South Florida. So we are a membership-driven organization. We are a nonprofit, a 501c6. We actually do have a 501c3 that's also under our umbrella. It's a K-12 STEM programming for kids with a focus on coding and development called Code Palm Beach. And currently, I don't remember the exact number, but we've got over 200 corporate members, probably about 215 or so from Miami-Dade through Palm Beach County, and then a couple that are trickled into Martin County as well. And these are just a few of the members. You know, we've got your, you know, even pre-seed companies, pre-revenue, tiny ones, all the way to our larger enterprise. So some of the larger ones here you can see, like City Furniture, Office Depot, Crown Castle. So we've got a bunch of great members, again, startups all the way through enterprise. I won't go into this in detail, but if anybody is interested in membership, we do have 4 different corporate membership levels, and we also have an individual level. Individual level is only $100 a year. The other 4 corporate membership levels do offer benefits such as speaking opportunities like these, job listings, you know, being spotlighted throughout the year, different blogs and so on. But if anybody's interested, please feel free to reach out to Monica or myself. I'd be happy to help. And some of our events. So we do stay pretty busy. I know Mark, wherever Mark is, where are you, Mark? There he goes. We were just talking about this. So in an average week, we've got probably 3 to 5 events every week that are going on, whether they're virtual, in person, or hybrid like this. So our tech talks, we do them right now every other Monday evening. We do move them around again because we are regional. So we have West Palm, then we go to Boca, then we come here for Fort Lauderdale, and then we also have the Lab Miami for the Miami location. So we move them around. So you'll know at least every other month we will be in your location. For the community coffees, those are right now virtual, and they're every other Tuesday morning at 8 a.m. Those can be topics on anything. So we've done topics that are technical, topics on talent, anything around culture. So I think the next one we have coming up is next week. That is going to be innovation in agritech or agriculture technology. Our podcasts, that's also alternating on Tuesday mornings at 8 a.m. They alternate with the community coffees. Those we always highlight different business, technology, or startup leaders, and sometimes talk to the investors or funding folks as well. And lastly, our lunch and learns. They're always introductory workshops. We hold them on Fridays from 12 to 1. They typically are startup focused or technology focused. So if somebody's interested in, say, intro to JavaScript or intro to Python, those type of things, those are the type of workshops that we do. For anybody looking for a job. So if you go to our website, it's techhubsouthflorida.org. There is a tab that says talent, and we do have an actual job board. But if for some reason you're looking through the job board and you don't see a perfect job for you in the moment, our resume distributor is pretty cool because you can actually create a profile, upload your resume, and once you hit submit, it automatically goes to all of our members. So at least you know that you're getting your resume out in, in their hands. There we go. And the final screen here. So our Slack channel is pretty active. I think we've got over 4,500 members currently right now. You can go to techhubsouthflorida.org/Slack. And there's a bunch of different conversations in there for startups, for women, for development. I mean, whatever you want to find. And of course, if there's something we're missing, we are totally open to ideas for creating new channels as well. And if you'd like to be added to our e-newsletter, which goes out every Monday, which Ronnie does, shout out to him, you can actually just text us your email address and we'll make sure to add you. That number, I'm sorry, is 561-250-7206. And I think that's the last screen, so I will stop talking. So I'm actually going to introduce Kimberly now. Kimberly from the South Florida Business and Wealth magazine. And I'm going to hand it to you and let you take it away.
We're not going to introduce the sponsor.
Yes. Oh, I'm sorry. I totally forgot. Sorry, Josh, because I said the sponsor name. I totally forgot. I'm so sorry. Oh, good. We can hear you. So hold on one second. Let me make sure it's not too loud. Here we go. So Josh, yes.
Hello.
Reminding me, Josh, yes, please tell us a little about Carrie Stamp. And you should be able to share your screen, Josh.
Okay, great. How's that?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Well, thank you, Nikki. It's great to see everybody in person there tonight. Fantastic. And thank you to Tech Hub South Florida for all you're doing for the tech and business communities. I'm Josh Weller. As Nikki said, I'm on the financial advisory team at Carrie Stamp and Company. And like all of the talented entrepreneurs and brilliant employees associated with Tech Hub and the member companies, we like to think of our team as being on the leading edge of our field in financial planning and investment management. Our focus is on helping individuals and families do the smart things that build their wealth over time and help them achieve their financial vision and security in life, all the way from building a career through a confident, secure retirement. On staff, we have 3 certified financial planner professionals so far, 2 accredited investment fiduciaries, a chartered life underwriter, a chartered financial consultant, and others. Continuing education is a huge initiative for us. We're constantly improving ourselves and our expertise. So just about the company, the basics about our company, it's a full service wealth management and financial planning firm, 12 team members. All of our staff have at least 1 professional designation or graduate degree, and we're all working on more, as I said. Completely independent, no bias other than doing what's in the best interest of our clients. We have clients throughout South Florida and the United States, headquarters in Tequesta, just north of Jupiter, and we have a northern office in Stamford, Connecticut also. Carrie Stamp, our founder, has 30 years experience in investment management and financial planning. He has 5 professional designations, which is remarkable. And just in February, he was named to the Forbes Best in State Wealth Advisors list, which we were all excited about. Community service is also a huge focus for us. Kerry's been on many boards, and he's currently serving on the board of the Palm Beach North Chamber and the Edna Runner Tutorial Center in Jupiter, which is a fantastic organization. I'm a financial advisor specializing in sustainable investing, or ESG, formerly known as responsible investing. I'm an accredited investment fiduciary. I've written extensively on the subject of sustainable investing and been quoted in publications on ESG news. I'm also a vice president of the board of directors at the Friends of the Arthur R. Marshall Loxahatchee National Wildlife Refuge, and all of our staff are on boards or contributing to nonprofits. You can learn more about us at kerrystamp.com. I encourage you to visit our YouTube channels. Kerry himself has a channel with more than 80 videos, which is fantastic, on various financial planning topics. My channel focuses almost entirely on sustainable investing. It has some other financial information in there. Kerry also has a Business in Paradise podcast featuring entrepreneurs, business leaders, and community leaders from South Florida. And I'm pretty sure a few Tech Hub entrepreneurs have been on his podcast. We're happy to chat, answer questions. Please feel free to use us as a resource for financial information. And we're thrilled to be here with Kimberly and the South Florida Business and Wealth team. And we'll turn it over to Nikki. Thank you, Nikki.
Thank you so much, Josh. I do want to add there really quickly too, for anybody that's wondering. So Josh and Carrie and their team are actually some of the nicest people you'll ever meet too. So if that adds anything, I just want to put that out there. But and we'll make sure, so we are recording this. So we'll make sure after this to send out for anybody that's RSVP'd, we'll make sure to send this out so you've got their information as well as have the actual recording of the presentation as well. So thanks again, Josh. All right, now we are ready.
Good evening, everybody. Can you guys hear me? Do I have to talk louder? Thank you for having me today. I truly appreciate it. My name is Kim Sarni. Kimberly's if I'm in trouble in the corner, so please call me Kim Sarni, Managing Director of South Florida Business and Wealth and the South Florida Legal Guide. If you guys haven't heard of SFBW before, we have about 100,000 print and digital subscribers. We are a monthly magazine as well as a full-service digital agency. So thank you to Nikki and Monica for having us here tonight. When they approached us and said, it's your guys' turn to host a tech talk, the first thing I thought of is, well, there's three things in this world that I absolutely hate. One is tomatoes, the second is public speaking, and the third is nature. So I'm perfect for this. You know, it's hard not to think that or believe that New York took the top prize for the most exodus or for the most people leaving New York City during this whole pandemic, or even the last 2 years. But believe it or not, there's other major cities that have been affected by this slowdown, we would say. The most recent study by the Office of the Economic and Demographic Research states that almost 330,000 people have moved to Florida from all over the US in the past 12 months. Now, I'll tell you why I'm standing here today, because I am one of those 330,000 people. I just moved here 4 months ago from New York City. You know, somebody has something to say. This migration is on par to continue through 2025. That means 845 people per day are going to move the South Florida region. So this is not just Florida as a whole. This is just South Florida. In 2020, the National Association of Realtors stated that 8.9 million people changed their addresses since the start of the pandemic. This is anywhere from the US. So 28% of those people actually came from the state of Texas. 15% of those people actually came from the state of New York. Now, since January of this year, that number has bumped up from New York to 23%. So there's a huge increase of people leaving New York City and coming to South Florida. And we're actually going to talk a little bit about that. Oh, you want to do it? Okay, thank you. So let's go ahead and take a look at what those look like in our three counties. So in Palm Beach County, we've seen an increase of 105% of people moving from New York City to Palm Beach County. In second place is Miami-Dade, coming in at 87%. And then last but not least, which I can't understand, it should be Fort Lauderdale first, is Broward County at 65%. But you're probably asking yourself why, right? Lower housing costs. Well, they're not low anymore, but they were low previous to this. We're also looking at paying less than 1% for property taxes. The average throughout the nation is 2%. In my own backyard in New Jersey, it's 2.47%. But let's not forget the elephant in the room. Why did a lot of people from New York move to South Florida? Anybody? That's right. What does that save us? 13%. Not paying city or state tax. That's crazy, right? And let's talk about this real quick. Florida has a balanced budget. It's a rising red state. I know we're not getting into politics, but I think the most important thing is, especially from somebody, from New York, 40%, the Manhattan Institute actually conducted a survey in January of this year. And you know what they said? They asked New Yorkers who are earning over 6 figures, how do you feel about the city? How do you feel about your safety? And 40% of them said the city's headed in the wrong direction. I couldn't agree more. All right, so what are the concerns about this influx? There is a clear housing shortage here. So it used to be just in the Lux market that there used to be a housing shortage. You'd have the billionaires and the multimillionaires, they're buying up all the property. But now you're seeing these residential real estate, you're seeing medium household incomes. You're seeing their houses increase in value by hundreds of thousands of dollars. You're also seeing education has actually played a big part in this. So when people ask, well, why are we moving to Florida? What does that mean for us? Education, let's look at that. There isn't a top 20 university in the entire state of Florida. Who knew that? There is not, no. New York City has 10 of the top 20 universities within 6 hours of driving. So what do we need to do for that? Now, that's just talking about universities, but I've heard it from multiple people that we need to enhance our public schools, right? Our middle schools, our high schools. So we need to create that change. All right, so I think one thing we need to talk about is infrastructure. I wasn't even considering a move to the state of Florida when this happened, believe you me, but I understand infrastructure problems firsthand. I've been through the blackouts, I've been through the brownouts, I've been through 9/11. I went through Hurricane Irene, the infamous Hurricane Sandy, and I know none of you know this, maybe Christian knows this because he's from Brooklyn, but we had the great flood of Park Slope 2 years ago. Whereas I'm sitting on my couch and I have 4 feet of water in my backyard, I have 2 feet of water in my front yard, and I'm looking at Instagram and there's Channel 12 News, and my car is underwater on 4th Avenue. And why did that happen? All because of infrastructure. I know a couple years ago, there was a major infrastructure problem here. I believe it's the Rio Vista neighborhood, the sewage pipes burst. So what happened? And they burst twice. It wasn't just once, it was twice. And then our officials stated, you know what, we actually needed to go ahead and change those pipes. We just didn't get around to it. 50 years those pipes are in the ground. Something needed to be done. Unfortunately, all of that sewage was piped into the Tarpon River, and the lasting effects to the environment is still unknown to this day. So I think we definitely need to address infrastructure. And if I'm going too fast, please let me know. So let's go ahead and talk about public transportation. Florida lost 1.1 million jobs between February and April this year. 8,300 in transportation and warehousing, and about 11,000 construction jobs were lost in the last year. Now, what does that all mean for us? That means those are jobs that create the infrastructure that we need to move on. But there's some things that we're doing to kind of improve that. I also want to talk about public transportation because this is most important. So during the pandemic or the slowdown, whatever you want to call it, FDOT accelerated projects across the state. I'm going to tell you what. State Route 80 in Palm Beach, as well as the design build project in Miami, along State Route 836, I-95, and I-395 were all improved or widened to help other people with transportation. Lastly, it should be noted, this is something that we're lacking in New York, is we don't have a budget for transportation or for even road improvements. But the governor's office did allocate $10.5 billion to FDOT during this budget cycle, and that includes $9.47 billion for the department's works program. So that is actually bringing people back to these industries that we need to create this infrastructure. So Florida is working to create one of the largest economies in the world. And you're probably asking yourself, how are we doing this? So our GDP was $1 trillion in 2018. If Florida were an independent nation, it would have the 17th largest GDP in the world, ranking above Indonesia, above Turkey, the Netherlands, Saudi Arabia, Switzerland, and even Argentina. Sorry. All right. I know you guys are looking Disney World, huh? Disney World is the single largest company that employs 70,000 people. So during the pandemic, imagine 70,000 people were laid off from work. So this is something that's true to my heart. You know, when an economy is good, that scammers are abundant, right? They are just everywhere and everywhere. And I couldn't say this enough. When I talk about scammers, I'm talking about people who take your gift cards, they call, they want your credit card information. But you know what I heard was the most interesting thing? Somebody told me that somebody is trying to sell swampland. And this actually happened to Boy Scouts. Did anybody hear this? Look it up. It's very interesting. Also, I find it very interesting. So when we were looking at a house, in Boca, and one of our realtor friends said, Kim, you need to ask this very specific question. And I said, okay, tell me what the question is. And the question is, you should ask the realtor if there's a previous meth house. Has anybody ever heard this before?
Yeah. Have to disclose.
No, they don't have to disclose it.
Oh, they did for my house.
So
Yeah.
if it was a
I actually have a disclosure on that.
oh, okay, see?
Yeah, I bought here. Yeah.
But if it was a previous meth house, and you're asking yourself why? Well, if somebody's cooking meth in this house, it seeps into the walls, into the ceiling, into the floors, into the ground that you're walking on. So that would be a scam in itself. Just imagine you buy this piece of property, you're in love with the house, and what happens? You know, you're high, unwilling, right? So, also, I think it's really important to go ahead and talk about our largest export. And you guys all might be thinking citrus, because citrus is ever popular and you see it all over the place. Believe it or not, the top 9 out of 25 meat producers live right here in Florida. So our largest export is actually meat. Yeah. All right, so the positive impacts on the influx of new residents. So we are seeing an influx of new industries that are ever so popular nowadays. We are talking about biotech, healthcare, fintech. They're all so very popular nowadays and increasing. We have Tech Hub South Florida right here. You know, they're saying that Miami, the Wynwood neighborhood is the new Miami tech scene. I think we have some work to do to compete against them. Or...
Well, for us now, regionals. Now it's all one big happy family.
Amazing. I love it. I love it.
What do they like it about?
Yeah.
They're part of the family whether they like it or not.
Exactly. So in 2020, CBRE study found that 15,000 tech jobs were added between 2015 and 2019, and that's just ever so increasing. All right. Why do people come here from New York or from anybody else? And they're thinking to themselves, and you probably, is that a typo? No, I'm saying, what about the culture here? I'm from Brooklyn, I can say that, right? And so it's really important to understand that there is a lot of culture here. And I'm not just talking about like the nightlife scene or anything like that, but when you're looking at dining is abundant here. So my favorite places, St. Ambrose, Swifty's, Almonds, all from New York, are actually planted right here in South Florida now. So there's a little taste of home no matter where we go. Also, Broadway shows, orchestras, they're all here. When in New York, we haven't had that for a year and a half. I mean, I'm gonna give you a prime example. The infamous Russian piano player, Daniil Trinivov, who constantly sold out Carnegie Hall shows, played in Palm Beach just in December, and guess what? The show was sold out. So there is a lot of culture here. There's a lot of things we could do here. And I'm not just talking about from New York City. This is from anywhere. You know, the three major economies in the United States are Texas, New York, California, and then Florida. But I think we're bringing all of that to the South Florida region. So last but not least, and I know I talk very fast, so I apologize. If you guys have any questions, let me know. This transition has been a very interesting one. I just moved here 4 months ago, and to kind of get thrust into South Florida world and get to know new people and make new friends and all of that has been a really interesting yet fulfilling experience. I'm in the middle of this transition myself, but so is 845 other people per day, every day. So these are my thoughts about South Florida. Unless the other major states are able to create new opportunities, maybe even change weather patterns, and economically speaking, makes sense, people are going to stay put. They're going to stay right here. I know I'll be staying in this low-tech state, taking back my 13%, you know, where the cost of living and the ease of doing business and the quality of life for me is so much better. But I'll leave you with this. New York is in my heart. It's in my soul. Will forever will be. But this is where I'm going to plant my roots from now on. So.